Bonjour, hello, welcome to the Paris International Film Festival. I'm Jenna Suru, the Executive Director, and today we are so excited to receive the directors of the movie we loved so much, such an important topic, Kiss the Ground. Hello, Rebecca, Josh, how are you?
Hi, good to see you.
It's great to be here.
Fantastic. And I'm writer producer Jeff Rivera, the host of today's Q&A with the filmmakers behind this brilliant documentary, Kiss the Ground. Please be aware that if you're watching this program right now, it's possible that there may be some spoilers. So we are giving you a spoiler alert. Today we are speaking, as Jenna said, in no particular order, to directors Rebecca and Josh Tickell. Please welcome them and welcome to our program.
Thanks so much.
This is such an important film. I mean, somehow you've managed to make a very unsexy topic entertaining, to make it moving, to make it important, to make it riveting. And it's a documentary that I truly believe that everyone on the planet really needs to see.
Thank you.
Well, we feel the same way. We're excited that people in far off places like Paris are watching the movie. So thanks for watching.
Well, I do have a few questions for you. For those who have not seen the film yet, how would you briefly describe it and why should they stop everything that they're doing and watch it?
I think we've been paralyzed when it comes to the conversation of climate change, and we've all felt a real sense of doom and gloom, and it's affecting everyone, especially the youngest generation, our kids, who are really concerned about what their future is going to look like. And Kiss the Ground reveals for the first time that we can reverse desertification and we can draw down all of that extra CO2 in the atmosphere and put it in the ground through regenerative agriculture. So it's a breakthrough that we can actually find this pathway forward together, and that there is a pathway forward so that we can reverse climate change, which has been, it's groundbreaking, or I guess you could say it's ground saving.
Absolutely. And I have to
That's exactly what she said.
I have to tell everybody, you know, if you may hear this topic and you're like, dirt, really? You don't understand. This film is so entertaining. And I don't know how you did it. You really, it was just so well made. Jenna, what do you think? Did you find it as entertaining and moving as I did?
I learned so much, and you're absolutely right, Jeff. I completely agree. I know we all love the film here at the festival because I learned so much. It's incredible how you managed to put so much information about a topic that is so essential and that I feel we don't talk about enough because there's so many recent news about this. And also I think what I really enjoyed in it is the authenticity and with how much heart really the actors or the people you've been talking with, they talk about this issue with a lot of humility. And I think it's really refreshing because, as you mentioned, I so appreciate that you say the younger generations, we're really, really afraid of everything that's happening with our planet. We want to save it. We want to do our best so that, you know, we can have a brighter future. And I really love the positivity also, like the solutions you actually give so that we can manage to do that. But it's not too late, but it's absolutely urgent. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for this film.
You're welcome. And you know it's not too late because we're here having a conversation.
Well, I think there's a real opportunity. I think when people see the film, it opens up action that can be taken that they didn't see before. You know, and it's not that these techniques that we're talking about in the film are new techniques. I mean, these come from ancient wisdom from all different types of cultures. But in terms of like looking at the planet and how we've lost two-thirds of the Earth's topsoil is desertifying. And that is something that we have to shift because that means we only have 60 harvests left. But the good news is that we can completely turn that around if we shift the way that we grow our food, and Kiss the Ground shows how we can do that and how we can all participate in that. And that's something that's worth celebrating. And it was a challenge to make it sexy, as you said, but that's why it took us 7 years. Wow. And also the movement hadn't really come together when we started. Like people hadn't heard about regenerative agriculture. It was really a new term for people. So, you know, we talked to the world's top experts on soil and carbon and all, water. And it was really interesting to see how far apart everyone was 7 years ago versus over the last 7 years, witnessing this movement coalesce and come together with this profound realization that we can do it.
Absolutely. That's what I really loved about the film as well, is that it's not doom and gloom. There's actionable things that you can do. I'm curious, because you had so many prominent celebrities involved in this film, I want to talk a little bit about how that came about, especially working with Woody Harrelson.
Well, Woody had actually been in our film Fuel, which went to Sundance in 2008. Woody actually came to Sundance with us. He signed the dashboard of the algae-powered car that we had at Sundance way back then, 12 years ago. So he's been a friend in that he's, an environmentalist and supports the same sort of ideas that we do. And our mutual friend, who's a friend of Woody's and as well, was Ryland Engelhart. So Ryland said, look, we can ask Woody to narrate. So we did, and he said yes, and the rest is history. He's been a real champ to work with. He did the narration of the film 3 times, God bless him, and was very patient and made sure that it was done, and it was done well. So we owe Woody a great gratitude.
Yeah, and he's also the real, he really is the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he rode around California in his own veggie-powered bus promoting biodiesel back in the day. And one funny little story from working with him on this film was after we recorded his voiceover and we filmed it, that's what ended up in the movie. We walked outside and we were in Hollywood, just off Hollywood Boulevard, and we had organized 30 school children to come, and we had this permit, we had all these kids, and we had all these signs, and it was like compost and regenerative agriculture and earthworms. And so here comes Woody out of this voiceover place, and we walk by this car on the way to the kids, and the car is just sitting there idling, and there's somebody sitting in the car's on, the air conditioner's on, he's just sitting there. And Woody starts to walk past, and he's like, I just can't. And he goes back and he knocks on the window. He's like, dude, you got to turn off your car. You can't just open up the windows, breathe some air. And then as we're walking away, he was like, I just can't stand it when people just sit there and idle their cars and waste fuel like that. And here we are arriving to all these kids who were just absolutely, all those kids in the film really are environmental activists. All of them that came, they've been working on local issues in Southern California, especially working on saving the ocean. So they all came, and it was their dream come true to get to be there with Woody and to see him, that he was the real deal, and to get to participate. So he really put his heart into it and made a difference for some kids in the meantime.
I think kids will enjoy this film. I think educators need to get behind it too, to put it in all the schools. I'm really curious, and this is my last question for you today. Let's talk about the challenges that you faced making this film. I know you mentioned it took you 7 years to put it together. What other challenges did you have, and why did it take 7 years?
Well, documentaries aren't known for being quick to make, and this was no exception to that rule. The difficulty of this film was getting the science to be interesting. Carbon is not inherently interesting. Soil is, for some of us inherently interesting, but for the rest of us, kind of boring as dirt. So we had to create a visual language with animations. We had to create a sort of fun language with the narration, with Woody, with other celebrities. We really had to create a way of interfacing with the material so that it felt personable. And that took many revisions. We probably had, anywhere from 10 to 14 versions of the film that were completely done. And then we showed it to test audiences, and we went, they still don't look good. It's the science thing and the carbon. We gotta redo it. And then we redo the whole film, including the animation. So that process, in addition to getting the scientists to agree on the science, that really took some time. But I think, at the end of the day, it's worth it because people do understand the science. We can reverse climate change. That's exciting news. It can be done within our lifetimes. And the cool thing is the film will be available free starting in late January. So everyone's going to have access to it globally for free. Every educator, every parent, every teacher, every student can get the educational version of Kiss the Ground for free, 45 minutes long at kissthegroundmovie.com. You just type in your email address, you get the film immediately. So We're
Wow.
gonna see millions and millions of students using this information in the classroom. And gosh knows, in 10 or 20 years, we're gonna have a huge number of people working on this issue. Climate change is gonna be a thing of the past, and we'll be working on new problems like how to deal with all those cities on Mars. So, you know, this is gonna be a problem that we make go away because we now have the tools and the information.
Fantastic. I want to thank you and thank everyone for joining us. Once again, I'm Jeff Rivera, writer, producer, and juror at Paris International Film Festival. Thank you very much.
Merci. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.